And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to Gem and a Crypto episode 1217. Today is Wednesday, May 1st, 2024, and I'm King here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto. Most days, Monday through Friday at 10ish. Today's top stories: Hong Kong, Bitcoin, and Ether ETFs have a tough debut on first day of trading. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF daily inflow on halt for 4 days. EigenLayer sees over 12,000 cube withdrawals. How far will TVL fall? U.S. Justice Department charges Roger Ver with tax fraud. And ex-Binance CEO Champagne Zhao sentenced to 4 months in prison. But first and foremost, of course, let's go ahead and take a look at these prices. And again, or not again, but pardon me too. We are working with a new restream right now. It looks like the website has uploaded, or excuse me, not updated, it's updated, and they added some new things to it. So I'm like working through it right now. Updated, I believe, yesterday or something like that. So working through it now, but let's go ahead and look at some of these prices again. It's not looking good. Bitcoin is at $57,389, depending on how you look at it, if it's looking good or not. Down 5.76%. Ethereum at $2,897, down 3.37%. Number 5, Solana at $123, down 3.27%. Number 9, Toncoin at $4.71, down 9.86%. Down 16.51% on the week. One might want to mention that too for those who actually believe in the project. Cardano at number 10 at 43 cents, up 2.26%. Let's see, trending coins. Let's see. Oh, that happened quick. Trending coins: Athena, Meme, AI, and Bitcoin. Of course, recently added Latit, Undead Games, and Catba Inu. Fear and Green Index has cooled off at the 52. Bitcoin dominance at a 52.8, and Ethereum at a 16.5. So what is this telling us? Oh wow, this actually hides me on. Okay, hold on. This it's all types of new screens. I didn't realize I was actually hidden on one of the screens. Not sure how I'm gonna make this one work. We'll see. But what is this telling us? Let me see. Stop sharing it. There we go. That's telling me the markets are well alive and well, right? It's a healthy retracement. A lot of people are already saying that happening, already had the price baked in with the ETFs, a lot of other news. So I mean, this was kind of to be expected. If anything, I think this is the best time to get a discount on altcoins. Can Bitcoin drop some more? Definitely can. Like I said, I don't think the party's going to really even get started until next year. But this year, you will still have a lot of moments for Bitcoin to gain some momentum. Of course, at the end of the year, we start thinking November, December, January for the birthday, and then the build up all next year. Summertime this year is usually a good time too. August usually has some nice highs and things. So a lot of time right now. I know it's not like exciting for a lot of people to see it start to slip, but it's only slipping at $57,000. So a lot of good in that. Let's see really quick. Want to get some shout outs. BK Crypto, Philip Shaw, Chloe Dior, Just Call Me L, Crypt Work, Bloodbath. They said, yeah, Hyben 17, Rashu, Larry N, Strength, Crypto Vixen, Satoshi Slim. Every day's a sale day at Maze. Get your fresh discount in Bitcoin here. Crypto in Focus. There we go. That's right. All it is a nice little discount that we're getting today. All right, top story of the day as I try to share these stories. Like I said, the app has updated, so kind of working with this. You all, I'm sure, already saw, but Hong Kong has went full time with these Bitcoin ETFs. It is happening. There is a can do chat overlay. Looks like they're doing Ether and Bitcoin ETFs now. For our market, we didn't see a lot of shake with that, more than likely because the United States is saying that, hey, Ethereum might be a security, and might happen. If that is something that will happen, then yeah, we're not going to be rocking with it the same way as you would see overseas. Oh, and by the way, something I also mentioned when I said Gary Gensler isn't going down without a fight, today is going to exemplify that. He is not going down without a fight. He's bringing people down with him. He was like, hold on, we still got some money to collect before they get me up out of here. But spot Bitcoin, Ethereum ETFs have started trading in Hong Kong, but day one trading volumes were a fraction of those recorded in the United States in January 2024. One reason I would also like to throw in there is like, yeah, I know people are saying this isn't mainland China. They're allowed to do their own thing to an extent, yes. But it's still isolated, right? It's still its own thing, it's Hong Kong a country, I believe it is, its own small country, technically a state that would be inside of China itself if it were to be included. But my point is, Hong Kong isn't big enough, in my point of view, to really shake the market. Does it add for good news? Does it add for validity? Yes and yes. But will it actually change the amount what people are looking at when they're looking at the price point of Bitcoin? Will it actually make that shake? I think no. But again, it's good to still have happened because as it proliferates, other markets begin to develop and adopt Bitcoin ETFs or Ether ETFs, or they package theirs with the United States ones. This is going to be more and more derivatives that can partner and make what will be an inflated market already even bigger. And that's going to be that secondary derivatives market. So in the long run, this could be a good thing for that market. But right now, of course, we're not seeing much price action happen from it. A little too late for Hong Kong. They probably should have did it at the same time as the the BlackRocks and all those folks were doing it. But again, on the other side of the house, this will still over time increase the value of Bitcoin if they're actually buying the underlying asset. Why? Because of supply and demand. So this is still good that we have another country jumping in on to the Ethereum ETFs and Bitcoin ETFs, I guess, right? If they're buying that back end asset. So the launch of spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds ETFs in the United States has proved hard to follow as Hong Kong's new Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs hit $12 million in trading volume. So again, not much for what you saw in the United States. The 6 new crypto ETFs total trading volume at the closing bell one day in Hong Kong was 87.58 million Hong Kong dollars, which is $12 million in our United States capital fiat currency. This number pales compared to the first day trading volume of US spot Bitcoin ETFs valued at $4.6 billion. So for just the United States spot Bitcoin ETFs, we pushed out 4.6 billion in a day. They're doing 12 million with Bitcoin and Ether ETF. So again, this is why you didn't see this in the market. Again, for you thinking long term, could be a good thing. More countries adopting ETFs if that's your thing. Then again, this is good, especially if they're buying the asset themselves, the Ethereum and Bitcoin. But as I said, they're not big enough to really make anything shake, nor are they like the financial hub of the planet where people just have to go. So we don't expect them to make that much noise. But again, hand clap to Hong Kong for at least getting this off the ground. And hopefully it turns out well for them, right? If they're buying the back end asset and they're paying people in cash, they should make a lot of capital here in the next year or 2 years, hopefully next year and a half, when Bitcoin really starts to emerge as that asset. All right, let's see. Next up, who do we have? BlackRock is back in the news talking about ETFs. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF daily inflow on a halt for 4 days. That's right. While some crypto observers are concerned with IBIT's inflow halt, others say it's more normal than the 71-day inflow streak it has recorded. So in other words, people are saying, hey, this halt is actually more of a normal occurrence than them knocking it out of the park for 71 days straight, which I can't agree with. But if anything's an indicator of who really controls the market or who can, I guess, control some of the market, it could be this. BlackRock saying, hey, we're not going to do ETFs for 4 days and the price drops, or of course, that's one attribute to make the price drop. Of course, the halving just happened as well. But on the flip side, you have Hong Kong launching theirs and you don't see any price action on their end. So again, this is BlackRock. Their spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund is halting inflows for several consecutive days for the first time since launch. Their iShares Bitcoin Trust IBIT, the fastest growing spot Bitcoin ETF in the US, has not recorded any inflows since April 24th. According to data from IBIT's official page, the fund has held the same 274,462 Bitcoin over the past 4 trading days. So again, that was 4 days nonstop of halting trades for their ETF. That could be why the price reflected that 5% dip. And if it was the reason why it reflected that 5% dip, then holy smokes, that's nothing, people. Like, that is nothing. That means they really can control and manipulate the market, at least in the short term, which of course would be very scary. But we've already seen it happen on the future side with SIBO and CMX, essentially taming the market for some years, to be honest, for a couple of years, honestly, when they first came out with timing. Their timing was perfect as well. So it looks like, again, not much has happened since this halt has happened. Should be coming back in a few days. Not sure exactly why they did it. Let's see if I can find out here in this article. I'm kind of scrolling to see. Let's see. For new Bitcoins to come in or go out of an ETF, there needs to be a big enough mismatch between supply and demand, such that the market makers need to organize the creation or destruction of creation units. Apollo co-founder Thomas Farrer wrote on X on April 30th. He added, "This isn't unique to the Bitcoin ETFs. This is how ETFs work in general. Most ETFs on most days will record zero inflows. BlackRock's trend of positive flows has been an exception to the rule." Okay, so what I'm kind of seeing here is that more than less likely they halted it to actually buy some Bitcoin, right? They got to actually make sure the supply and demand and everything's matching up. Paperwork is good, so they probably just stopped it for normal operational reasons to say, hey, let's catch up on this paperwork, let's make sure we have the right assets in Tau that we said that we do, and everything's on the up and up. That is my thoughts. Or it could have been them saying, hey, let's see what happened. We push the off button on this market really quick. Who knows? But regardless, it did happen. And again, as we saw and as we're seeing right now, there is a small dip in the market. Who knows if we can attribute it to them or just the market in general after the happening and some of the other craziness that's going on as well. Fight, Craig. Yeah, there's going to be some fighting going on today for sure. Let's see. EigenLayer. Oof, man, talking about how the American market is dictating things. EigenLayer sees over 12,000 queued withdrawals. I can't even say I said withdrawals. How far will TVL fall? Mass withdrawals start on April 29th after EigenLayer's decision to ban U.S. and Canada-based participants from its upcoming airdrop. That's right. They said that, hey, for one, let's just point out, it sounds, I mean, again, I think they actually had a vote on it, so this could just be me talking smack, but it sounds super centralized. I just had to say that. But no, I mean, this is messed up. The whole point of airdrops are really as a reward to early adopters, early users, anybody who came on, stake some liquidity, put some capital up there, or excuse me, stake capital to create liquidity. People who actually use their time and resources to test things out, to trade, to swap, to do anything with the network. That is what those airdrops are for, to say, hey, we know you took a great risk, because most of the times, 9 times out of 10, you could lose your money on these beta platforms and trading and providing capital for liquidity. Like, you can lose it all. So them providing that airdrop is to thank you. And so I'm not sure, and I haven't been paying that much attention to EigenLayer, but I would assume they allowed participation from the United States and Canada to help build their network, to help actually build the volume and to get their name out there. I'm assuming they allowed United States and Canadian based participants. So now to come around and say, hey, just want to throw it out there, you all cannot have an airdrop. You can't get one. We have to ban you. That's crazy work right there. Now, I definitely get it. They're saying, hey, we let US and Canada, Canadian citizens get this airdrop. The IRS is going to be breathing down our neck. The CIA, the military, whatever America can throw at us to get the money. The extortion game will be strong with this one. What Kendrick say, when you step off the plane to LA, the extortion is in play, okay? It's going to be nonstop, and the heat will be turned up. So EigenLayer just saying, hey, we just want to avoid that altogether. So, U.S. customers, sorry, you got to go. And then rightfully so, U.S. Canadian customers, and I'm sure other customers as well, who are speculative, because let's be honest here, EigenLayer, you aren't changing the world, and I don't even know what you do. But seriously, it's like most of these projects and platforms aren't changing the world. So it's like, you're not changing the world and you're cutting people off. This is sounding super draconian. It sounds like what people are running from. And once again, people are forgetting the ethos of Bitcoin, why people came to this space, why people even came to crypto. And you have people who are even interested in the EigenLayers of the world. So to see them actually do this is unfortunate. I understand why from a business perspective, but as I always say, we're not going to take it. You're supposed to be stacking some of that money to fight back, to hire lawyers, to do that, to do this, and do everything else. But again, mass withdrawals started on April 29th after EigenLayer's decisions to ban U.S. and Canada-based participants from its upcoming airdrop. EigenLayer, the largest Ethereum restaking protocol, has received over 12,412 withdrawal requests following widespread disappointment surrounding its planned Eigen airdrop. Mass withdrawal requests started on April 29th, when EigenLayer saw over 4,336 daily withdrawals, rising to 6,496 on April 30th, according to Dune data. So you can see that spike right here, which is absolutely insane. This is essentially a bank run happening on a software, on a protocol. The restaking protocol has amassed over 12,412 withdrawals in the past 3 days. And it looks like, yes, several, they stayed on their white paper, of course, that the US, Canada, and other jurisdictions will be excluded from the airdrop, including several African and Asian countries. I mean, anybody who wants to fight. Again, the Naira, they're having issues over there. They're trying to push back on any type of crypto. So I can see countries. EigenLayer has over 107,000 unique depositors, according to Dune. In the past 3 days, the 12,412 withdrawals suggest 7.6% of unique depositors have withdrawn from the protocol. And I can pretty much tell you that's just from the people who've heard about it. If you actually were to tell everyone, hey, do you know this is what's going on? I would assume that go up to about 15 to 18% overnight. While the size of the individual withdrawals can't be traced yet, the 11.6% of Q withdrawals would reduce EigenLayer's current 14.8 billion TVL to just above 13 billion. So still healthy, but still taking a big loss. So since it has a 7-day withdrawal processing period, the effects of the mass withdrawals will only become visible in the following weeks. So we have some time to see. But one thing's for sure, two things for certain. They said we're not messing with the US and Canada and some of these other people who got these wild ass militaries and governments. And yeah, I mean, and the show goes on, I guess. Next project, next thing. I got to be honest, I don't see them continuously being successful because for the countries that were included on that list, I mean, woof, don't let them have any type of organization to themselves. They're gonna say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why, why are you doing an airdrop for our citizens? Like, we're not getting any money back, but you're scared to pay the US and Canada. We want in too. They're gonna want their taste as well. Like, this is why you can't get in. You cannot give in to these governments. We have to have self-regulation because it is simply like, which government is in the right? They all could possibly put a state down and say, you owe us taxes. You all owe us taxes, no matter what country you're in. Again, that's a slippery slope because once the US does it, I can't wait for the day a United States citizen gets a subpoena from a Russian or a Chinese court or Indian court saying you did some type of crypto, whatever, you owe us money, you haven't paid, and we want you. I want to see how our government is going to react to this because that is what we're doing to other places. We're actually going to talk about that here next as the U.S. Justice Department. U.S. Justice Department charges Roger Ver with tax fraud. That is right. The early crypto investor, often called Bitcoin Jesus, faces extradition to the U.S. after being charged with evading nearly $50 million in taxes. Now, I haven't seen the story yet, read it. Off the top of my head, I will say I thought and believe Roger Ver is not a U.S. citizen any longer. I'm not sure if that's true. He just moved. I'm sure they'll let me know in the story. But regardless, what's crazy is that a couple things. I would say this number is probably not as bad as what he actually has because he made some plays now in the early days. So that 50 million might be a drop in the bucket. And second thing is, if he didn't pay anything back, as I always say and said, especially for the loud spoken ones like the Roger Veres of the room, man, like, you didn't pay gang? Oh, Roger Ver, man, you know you wild and loud and everything else in between. I would honestly think he had paid some type of taxes, primarily because Charlie Shrum. He was around. He was a player during the Charlie Shrum days. He saw how they rolled him up and threw him in prison. I would think then he'd be like, let me throw them a few $1,000,000 to keep him happy. So again, I haven't checked this story out. Let's see what happens. What's happening here? This is absolutely crazy, and it looks like the United States is retroactively going after everyone, which again is madness considering that we don't do this on Wall Street or with a ton of traditional sectors. But again, this is officials with the United States Department of Justice announced charges against early Bitcoin investor Roger Ver, known by many as Bitcoin Jesus. In April 30th notice, the Justice Department said authorities in Spain had, oh man, come on, you're not in Spain? You in Spain? Off the top of my head, wasn't Alexander Finnick? Didn't Spain do something with him? Let me see. Alexander Finnick in Spain. Ah, man, listen, I don't think Spain is where you're supposed to go. Was it Alexander? What was his name? What was the guy who was the Russian? I said Finnick. I might be saying the wrong name. Who was the Russian guy on the run? Who was the Russian Russian crypto Finnick. Was it Finnick? I think it was Finnick. I'm Googling in the background. Yeah, it's Alexander Vinnick. Oh, it's Vinnick. Okay, Alexander Vinnick. France, Greece. It was Greece. I thought it was Spain. Was he not captured in Spain? Who was captured in Spain? Somebody recently was captured in Spain. I got to look it up. But regardless, it looks like Roger Ver was in Spain. Point blank period. Spain isn't a place you want to go if you owe the United States money. That's what I'm saying. Do not go to Spain. Hold on here. I got this article in the background right now. I'm trying to see where they got Alexander Finnick. Let's see. 2017, Greece. Okay, it was in Greece and France. I don't think he touched down in Spain. Let me know in the comments who recently was captured by Spain for the United States. It was someone. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Let me go to comments. You all are real quick in the comments. Was it Maccabee? Was it Maccabee? I'm not sure if it was Maccabee. Let's see. Spain stole all the gold from Aztecs. You ain't supposed to go to the thieves. Oh, man, this is crazy. But how you supposed to pay if they won't stop harassing even after? I mean, listen, listen, hold on. A great question was just put out there. Saber Save said, how are you supposed to pay if they won't stop harassing after? Essentially, how are you supposed to pay the government? How are you supposed to pay and they won't stop harassing? So I had to take off the article for this. This is about to be super disheartening, but it's the truth. You got to join the gang, man. And sometimes it's too late, right? You can't be like, oh, join the gang. Don't everybody laugh at you for that? It's like, come on, bro. You've been doing this since early 20s, teenagers. So, no, seriously, like being funny, but seriously, it's like, it doesn't stop, right? Do you ever stop paying property taxes on the house you already bought and own outright? Do you ever stop paying for your car registration? I mean, there's a ton of taxes. Do you ever stop? Like literally, you get taxed on the money that comes in. You get taxed for spending it. You get taxed for saving it. You get taxed for investing in it. You get taxed for storing. Like you get taxed on your money. Period. So no, it's never going to stop. The best thing you can do, and I'm being serious when I say this to us, is joking, but serious, is to figure out a way to join the gang. Fortunate enough, the United States, you actually can join our gang later on in life. We don't take child soldiers, right? We want our members older and established already. So some of the ways people have skirted this is by becoming regulators themselves or politicians, right? Congress, right? Doing things to where they don't have to pay the maximum amount of taxes or have to do the things that the rest of our regular citizens are beholden to. So that's the best answer I have. But yeah, it's crazy, right? Like it won't ever stop. It won't stop. It won't stop. As long as you're making that money, it's not going to stop. That's the point of me calling it a gang in of itself. There is no peaceful living. Let's see. Let's go back to this though. Roger Ver, caught in Spain, authorities in Spain had arrested Ver based on criminal charges in the U.S., including mail fraud, tax evasion, and filing false tax returns. The United States government alleged Ver defrauded the IRS out of roughly $48 million with his failure to report capital gains on his sale of Bitcoin and other assets. According to the and see, I already know where this is about to get muggy at and where this is going to be super messed up and dirty. Here's what's about to happen right now. Shout out to Roger Ver. I need to get him on the show now. I hope Roger Ver beats this. I want to be clear. This is the same as the XRP case. Like what the U.S. is doing right now with the United States, this is a test run. They want to see, do we got them dead to rights? If they do, people, funds over. Game's over, funds is over. They're coming after everyone and everything. Starting with the whales first, but they're going to work their way down to what it is as we see with fiat, $600 transactions. They're going to want it all. That's the first thing. I do think it will take some years. So your best bet right now is to make as much money as you can, save up, store it, lawyer, save it, store it, be ready to pay them back if that's the case. But it will take years because they have to educate themselves on this, right? Like for every player out there, they got to go. Like for every Roger Ver, they have to do a whole forensics. How many agents will that actually take? How much education went into that? So on and so forth, right? So it will take some time, but what they're doing is playing a dirty game. What I'm assuming just off of I know how our government is, they're probably saying, you like we don't know how much Bitcoin or crypto you have, Roger Ver. Only thing we do know is that you are loud and outspoken about when Bitcoin Cash dropped and how you sold all your Bitcoin for Bitcoin Cash and things of that sort. You are super loud and outspoken about that. according to the United States, they're considering those sales as taxable events. They're considering those swaps as taxable events. And you saying you did it with millions of dollars and so on and so forth, as you have said millions of times in the past, they're looking at that as taxable events. So just off of going off of YouTube, if I was a government worker, I could just go on YouTube and look at some of your old interviews and be like, off the strength of what you're saying, we're looking at $48 million that might be MIA. Not saying it's right. You know me, not saying it's right. But you got to know how they play their game, how they do their tricks if you want to fight back. Yes, I agree. Power of Nine said we should support Roger because it could be any of us, even if it's over $1,000 of Bitcoin sales. I agree. Listen, you're talking about doing retroactive charges to a person who was in this space before businesses were. He was the person who brought businesses to Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. So literally before there was a market. So when it was still just trading cards and all that other stuff, before it was still fake, fraudulent pennies on the dollar. Now you want to say because of the activities he did as a businessman there, where he's facing criminal charges. What type of America is this? Come on, what type of America that doesn't apologize for, like, wow, for some of the world's worst travesties? No apology needed, no nothing. We're saying that, hey, an American businessman can't see a new market where there's no rules or gray rules and stake out a lane for himself. America, like, not without paying us, no. Gang, gang, gang. Not without kissing the ring, baby, they said. This is absolutely crazy. According to the indictment filed on February 15th, but unsealed on April 29th, Ver allegedly took control of roughly 70,000 Bitcoin in June 2017 before the now famous bull run and sold many of them for $240 million. U.S. officials said they plan to extradite Ver from Spain to the United States to stand trial. Why? I mean, Roger, honestly, man, especially if you're doing all right, I would just send them 60 million. In fact, send them 75 million. Be like, stay up off me. Stay up off me. I'm never coming back. You got your last taste from me. I'm never coming back. Just send them 70 million and say I'm never coming back. Or fight it. I mean, hell, or fight it. Yeah, this is crazy. Reactions to Ver, and of course, Spain's going to extradite him. Why? Because the United States is like, listen, we're going to get 50, right? We're going to get 48. Y'all going to get 12 of that, bro. Just send them back. Spain says, we're going to get 12. All right, if you're going to send us 12, we can get them on a jet tonight. Roger Ver was like, hold on, guys. I was paying you $1 million a year every year the last 8 years to keep me safe. They was like, yeah, but the U.S. said they can do 12 in one take, man. You know how that go, man. Ain't nothing personal. Listen, reaction to Ver's arrest on social media were mixed. However, Bitcoiner Dan Hill, the former growth lead at Kraken, claimed Bear deserves everything that he's about to get. Damn! After he nearly destroyed Bitcoin. Very true as well, but damn. Listen, I can't agree with that. And this is what I mean by this is the whack-ass people in crypto sometimes. These, like, Bitcoiner Dan Hill, I don't know who he is. But this is the problem. To me, this is the energy. This is the same energy as this project didn't work out, I want to sue. And it's like, oh, come on, man. Just because you took bad advice or you didn't do your research or whatever, or you did just put it into a shit project or a scam, whatever, it doesn't mean we need to get the feds involved. All right. It means you took a loss. Now, there might be things you can do to that project for the loss, right? We do self-regulation. We can make sure the whole community knows about them. We're going after them. We ever see them at a conference, hey, run the pocket, something, right? Seriously, like, there are things you can do, but to say, I want to get lawyers involved, the entire judicial system, etc. This is how and why we now have these new regulations coming in out of left field, because people are calling, crying, bankers are calling, crying to the government saying this isn't fair. We can't beat some software and technology. This isn't fair. We need leg up. So with this thought process, it's kind of the same thing. It parallels that to me, where he's like, good, he tried to destroy Bitcoin. He deserves everything he's about to get, even if it's in the form of the United States justice system that will set a precedent to affect everyone in the entire industry. I don't agree with that. I can't get along with that. And that's what happens every time someone calls the lawyers to say, hey, I want to do a class action, I want to sue, I want to do this, whatever. Now, to be fair, the rabbits out the bed, right? Like the magic's out the hat. It's not like that we're going to stop doing that. So that ship is already sailed. Regulations are coming. They're here already. Uh, things will be in litigation. Things are already in litigation. These things are going to happen. This is the way of the world. I'm saying it could have been avoided, but it's not going to be avoided. It's here. So with that being said, this is the same thing. Sounds cool that he deserves everything he's about to get. And he did try to destroy Bitcoin, to be fair. He's a part of the New York agreement. It began back in 2017 with SegWit and SegWit 2X and everything back in the day when they were trying to essentially fork Bitcoin. Fork Bitcoin during the scaling debate. He was a part of that, trying to fork Bitcoin. Then he officially forked it himself, right? With Jahan Wu and what's the guy I'm looking at, right? Craig Wright. They officially forked it. So he did actually try to destroy what people believe their version of Bitcoin is. You can see here this quote: Roger attacked my livelihood, trying to get me fired, called up others to hurt my relationships and attack my reputation, said Held on X. He misaligned expectations around Bitcoin so much that it led to a civil war. Again, I understand where Dan's coming from. I agree. And I mean, that even goes, was Dan's not the YouTuber interviewed him too, because that was a crazy one too, the interview you had. So again, I get where these people's coming from. The Bitcoin Jesus title has been stripped from Roger Ver years ago. But again, this is beyond a slippery slope. You do not want the United States. Well, they're going to get them in court. You do not want the U.S. winning this. You don't want them winning. I would say I don't want Roger Ver to settle. I want him to see this thing through and win. I want to see him win. I want to see the U.S. lose, and I want precedents to be set to whereas, like, hey, from now on, not only are we going to make things clear as far as what markets are, how they're being regulated, e.g., Ethereum is a security or is not. But until we actually do that, then there is no retroactive laws going on unless someone, I mean, granted, if someone dies or something crazy, yes. But if there's no money missing, there's no victims essentially, then hell no. I hope he wins, and that is what comes out of it. Not only does he win, but in fact, we're going to win. We're going to countersue, and we're going to put some legislation out there that says, hey, we're not going to just from now on say, because we thought about this 8 years ago, we're now going to sue for these missed taxes. That's absolutely insane. But on the flip, again, I know how gang's going to go. They're seeing them dollar signs. The federal government is on the same page when that happens. So this is going to be a tough uphill battle for Roger, but I definitely wish him the best. Hope he can get it, man. Damn, this is crazy. This is crazy. All right, Jake said you better buy now. If you're thinking any more major dips, you're only wishing. This is it. 8 months consecutive green, now one red, now back up. Could be true. I wouldn't doubt it. 8 months consecutive green right now from this point. What is this? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. I don't know. That might be some off time. You say we can take a dip in January, February again? Oh, I can see that. All right. That's a fair one off the top of my head. That's a fair one. He ain't pay his tax bill of 3 figures. Let's see. Gang Guru King here. I am the gang guru. You already know it. Yeah, I don't know. Shout out to Roger Ver, man. I hope that's figured out, and I definitely hope he wins, because if not, like I said, it's going to get ugly before it gets pretty. All right, last but not least, ex-Binance CEO Champagne Zhao sentenced to 4 months in prison. CZ said, come on, King. You already know I had this thing worked out, my boy. Hey, CZ said they got this worked out. They had to scare people 3 years, blah, blah, blah. Hey, that's what's up, CZ. You had it worked out. I still want to pay them that money, but Champagne Zhao, also known as CZ, pleaded guilty in November to violating U.S. money laundering laws and have been free to travel in the United States on a $175 million bond. Whew. A federal judge has sentenced former Binance CEO Champagne Zhao to 4 months in prison for violating U.S. money laundering laws. In April 30, I mean, that's probably going to be the smoothest 4 months I would assume anyone will ever do in prison. I mean, shit. I would go to prison first day. Listen, everybody, y'all heard what I gave the U.S., right? I got all that plus more for everybody who's here. I'm talking prisoners and staff included, okay? I just want to chill every day for the next 4 months. In fact, get me swole like the Amazon CEO or UFC president. Get me swole like them boys, whatever they was on. Give me like that in 4 months. I get out of here, and I'm gonna be a different CZ. I'm gonna be a different CZ. An April 30th hearing in U.S. District Court for the Western District of Washington, Judge Richard Jones sentenced Zhao to 4 months in prison. Shout out to Judge Richard Jones. Judge Jones saw this and said, what the? Y'all waste my time with that. 4 months. Judge, I don't got time for this. Prosecutors have recommended former Binance CEO serve 3 years for his failure to maintain an effective AML program. I mean, those fucking devils. I'm glad I don't take prosecutors personally, man. Goodness gracious. They be trying to, they don't like just running people over with the bus. They like bagging up twice over you. Goodness gracious. CZ's lawyers was like, nah, let's just try to do probation. Judge said, look, 4 months, get out my face. Plus, the guy already paid us $4 billion plus. According to reports from the courtroom, Judge Jones said there was no evidence Zhao was ever informed of specific illegal activities at Binance, pushing back against prosecutors' request to enhance the sentence from 18 months to 3 years. Really quick, I just want to throw this out there. According to reports from the courtroom, Judge Jones said there was no evidence Zhao was ever informed of specific illegal activities at Binance, and he still paid over $4 billion in fines, and they tried, or not tried, they're throwing his ass in prison. Gang, man. Woo! Goddamn, happy to be American. Happy to be here, proud to serve. Goodness gracious, they are not playing no games up there. In final arguments, attorneys for the government suggested that CZ's approach at Binance have been to ask for forgiveness rather than permission, and he shouldn't be allowed to profit from his actions. Incarceration is necessary to reflect the seriousness of the offense, said Kevin Mosley for prosecution, later adding a probationary sentence here will incentivize others to break the law and to do it in the largest scale possible. I mean, this is an entirely different topic for another day. I would say this. The worst part about this and that statement where there's like, your ignorance of a law is no excuse for not knowing the law. Actually, it motherfucking is. People, I have a degree in criminology. Like, I just want to make sure this is 2 degrees, criminology, political science. I have studied the law before very well. Like, and then when I went to the military doing PR for the military, guess who I work with nonstop every day around the clock? The JAG, the lawyer. That's right, the military lawyers. Those people, military lawyers and the PR people work together because we don't want to say shit to the public that could be illegal, and we don't want, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a whole thing. So my point is to see this, to see this nonsense going on here, where you have our own government saying, this is how I know they're not for the citizens, saying you all should know every law in the books. People, the laws are not like, this is why you have to hire a lawyer. They tell lawyers to hire lawyers. They say, I forgot the saying, one of y'all can put in the comments, but there's a whole saying that says a lawyer is foolish to represent themselves. Or you want to see a foolish lawyer, watch one represent themselves. So you don't even expect the people who have studied the law, who have a degree in it, have higher education, higher learning in law. You don't even expect them to know it and represent themselves, but you expect normal, everyday American citizens, and even worse, people who aren't American citizens, to know these same laws. People, I forgot what state it is. This is a state out there where it's like if you walk backwards and eat a donut, it's illegal. That's an actual law because someone tripped walking backwards, eating a donut, choked on it, and died. All right, like, really, you have to know all the laws. Hey, God bless America, man. Smash that like and share. We'll see you all Friday.